Thank you, everyone. What's your beef? More times than not, we refrain from eating beef because we think it's too heavy or too hard to digest. But we're so thrilled because my next guest puts an end to that myth. Here to show us how it's done in ways that look so delicious, but of course, nutritious, our dear friend, registered dietitian Carolyn O'Neill. This looks amazing.
Thank you.
We're applauding Carolyn, I know.
Thank you. You know, you're absolutely right. You know, as a registered dietitian, I hear from people all the time. They say, Carolyn, I want to eat more healthfully, therefore I'm going to cut red meat out of my diet. Now, I applaud their attempts to eat more healthily, but you don't have to. I mean, obviously you're a vegetarian, that is your choice.
Right.
But if you do eat meat, red meat, beef in particular, actually it's not just protein. We know there's a lot of protein in it. 25 grams actually in a 3-ounce serving, and that's about half you need for the day, and that's a small amount. The reason I have the iPhone out here on the set is because that actually is the size of the serving of meat. So obviously we don't want you to have the giant steak draping over your plate. Now, I thought what we could do is get into some meaty facts here. Okay, there are 10 nutrients in beef beyond the protein. We've got iron, we've got selenium, we've got choline, we have B vitamins for energy. There are all kinds of things that really help with our brain and our muscles.
Okay, you're making
and
me feel
certainly
better.
energy. Now, this is a pillow. See, you gotta love beef.
Yes.
This is a T-bone. And so just to get you started on, like people say, well, Carol, I don't even understand when I go to the meat case in the grocery store, what is it that I'm even looking at or buying? And a lot of people need to learn. Now, the T-bone actually is a combination of the tenderloin and the strip. So let's go to the real deal here.
Yes.
Now, this is a New York strip steak. This is one of the lean cuts. Now, if you get a close-up here, you see this external fat?
Right.
You know what we call that? External fat.
Okay. It's like marbling, yeah.
Well, the marbling is actually the little threads that run through the beef, and that's what gives beef its flavor, its texture, its juiciness, but even lean cuts, which are going to be lower in total fat, are going to have that delicious marbling. Now, this cut is a flank steak. A flank steak, you can see the threads of the meat or the grain of the meat going in this direction, okay? This is going to be a little bit tougher if you don't cook it correctly. The leaner cuts, you want to make sure you just sear, serve medium rare. And what I've got here is another cut on this. It's called the flat iron. And again, there's so many different cuts. This actually, the flat iron, comes from the chuck portion of the sear.
That looks like a fillet.
It looks like a fillet. And I just kind of cut an amount. And again, it's very lean. You want to do it just medium rare. And here I have prepared some delicious flat iron steak. And you may see this, Christine, on restaurant menus now.
Yes, flat iron.
And again, it's going to give you the protein that in it. You know, it's the kind of protein. Isn't that good? A little Korean sauce in there. Of course, delicious. We balance our plate with the potatoes and the green beans. Now, one little tip I want to give folks in the kitchen: if you do have something like a flat iron or something like a flank steak, you want to make sure you cut against the grain. Well, first of all, let's sharpen the knife, shall we? Yeah, let's get serious here in the kitchen.
Got it.
Okay, that's a lot of fun, too. Anyway, so what you want to do, and you see this, the grain is going that way, so I'm going against the grain, and you can see, I grilled it this morning, and you can see that is very much medium rare.
Yes.
And you could do it a little bit more, but always plan ahead just before you get it to that level, because you want your meat to sit. And that way all those juices go back, and it's going to be more luscious and tender and delicious.
Beautiful.
I prepared some little tacos with whole wheat tortillas, the soft tortillas.
Love those.
And this has been marinated in molasses, red wine vinegar, and this is a recipe, folks, that you'll find in my Slim Down South cookbook.
Yes.
So again, beef goes with a slim, healthy lifestyle.
Sure.
All right, now I'd like to show you. I just got back from Montana, and I have some pictures to share with you because I discovered a meatloaf while I was in Montana. There it is. This is the ranch at Rock Creek. They don't call it Big Sky Country, you know, for no reason. Look at that. And here's the chef, Josh Drage. And in the foreground, you see the 3 giant meatloaves. I cannot tell you, that's the best meatloaf I've ever had, and I'm going to make it for you right now. We don't need to show any more pictures. We're coming back because right here on the set.
I'm sorry. That is why we love you. She's like, this is my segment. Enough of that. Let's get here.
Look, here's a fall leaf. It just fell into the recipe.
That's good.
Now, what Josh invented really with this meatloaf, which I love, it has lots of vegetables in there. So you've got the beef. But then in there, also mushrooms in the blend,
Ooh,
carrots in
yes.
the blend. I'm going to put another
You know, I
piece.
gotta get my fork from over here because
yeah.
well, Jim loves a good meatloaf.
Oh, my gosh.
So I would love to mix it up and have something with more flavor. But talk about what else made this one from
I
Montana
think what
unique.
makes it great is you've got so many vegetables in there, onions and carrots. You can see the big pieces of carrot. They look like jewels almost in there. And what you're doing there is you've got less beef in a serving. Therefore, you know, you can have more vegetables already in there. And then this is a cool thing with mushrooms. It's called the blend. And you see how these, it's usually like, I don't know, like one container like this large of the mushrooms in the grocery store and a pound of ground beef. And you chop it up so it kind of looks like the ground beef. You see what I mean?
Yep.
All right, and then you mix it in, whether you're making a hamburger or you're making a meatloaf like we have here. And again, then you're getting the yumminess, the tenderness, the moisture, so your meat, it's not gonna dry out.
Right.
The moisture from the mushrooms.
Right, it's delicious.
And
It's very
mushrooms,
moist.
you know what's strange? They are actually high in vitamin D, which is the sunshine vitamin.
Right, which we need, especially now going into winter.
And mushrooms grow in the dark.
Wait,
I don't
that
get
doesn't
it.
make
You know?
sense,
Yeah.
right.
Maybe they make their
Good
own
thinking.
sunshine in there.
Okay,
so
what
anyway, very nutritious.
what
and
is
then,
this
if you
beautiful little
don't have
minis?
time to make your meatloaf from scratch, this is actually Stouffer's meatloaf, and I just prepared this. I'd never made it before. And they're little individual perfect
Huge.
portion sizes of
Okay.
meatloaf.
That-
That would be an individual portion. Again, you're 3 ounces, so you're just so perfect. Then I dolled them up. You know, one has some tomato sauce and Parmesan, one has salsa, one has the, you know, the meat gravy,
Oh,
one
good.
has Parmesan, parsley, and then this one, you know, you want to have a whole grain, and this
Mind if I
has
do?
a little bit of ginger garlic
Ooh.
sauce. Why not take your meatloaf around the world, folks? So you can see that beef, when you balance it with the vegetables, like this gorgeous Montana meatloaf from the ranch at Raw Creek, or, you know, you just get to know the cuts of meat so you know
Right.
how to prepare them properly. You're getting all 10
Delicious.
nutrients and, of course, that protein.
Protein. You're the best.
Oh, thank
Love
you.
you. Always the best advice. If you would like to learn more nutrition tips, diet advice, order her book online. Go to CarolynO'Neill.com. Follow her on Instagram, Facebook. She has amazing travels as a foodie, a dietitian. She is so fun to follow, so make sure you do.
Montana meatloaf will be on CarolynO'Neill.com.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, coming up, B98.5's Melissa Carter was a butcher, speaking of meat, back earlier in her career. Is that a headline or hoax? We're going to find out. Everyone's favorite game is coming up. Melissa.